I'm Macy Egland. This week marks 15 years since the search for Shannon Gilbert led police to a suspected Long Island serial killer. It was back in 2010 that 4 sets of human remains were found near Gilgo Beach. Gilbert was not among them. By the time her body was found a year later, 11 sets of remains were uncovered. Investigators believe the area was a dumping ground for suspected serial killer Rex Heuermann. In less than 2 minutes, the key piece of evidence that helped police track him down. Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman has announced his run for governor.
New York is desperate for change, for new leadership that will put New Yorkers first. For too long,
his campaign will focus on affordability, safety, and putting New York first. This sets up Blakeman for a GOP fight against Congresswoman Elise Stefanik for the right to challenge Governor Kathy Hochul. Montauk residents vote today on a nearly $35 million bond proposal. It would pay for renovations on the district's K-8 building and the construction of a home for future superintendents. Only in Newsday, Suffolk's newest investigator is a yellow lab named Jimmy. Jimmy is an accelerant-sniffing dog and has already helped on 8 arson cases.
If he finds something, he'll sit right down, and then we mark it, and then we come back through later on and we dig up that stuff and send it to the crime lab to be analyzed.
It's not often you see a yellow lab for this job, right? Jimmy is Suffolk's 8th explosive detection canine. All right, let's talk about your Tuesday forecast now. Another frigid morning across the island. Warmer weather is on the way, but some rain comes with it. Let's get through today. Highs in the 30s, but the wind is making it feel like the 20s today. Clouds are rolling in ahead of that rain tomorrow. It is warmer for Wednesday. Showers and strong winds are likely in the afternoon and then again at night. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we are tracking the possibility of some snow for Sunday. Monday of next week right now just looks dry and cold.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
It's now been 15 years since the search for a missing woman led to the discovery of human remains near Gilgo Beach. It turned into a suspected serial killer case that gripped the island and the world. Doug Geed has more.
There's somebody after me. Where are you? There's somebody after me.
This is how it all started. A call to 911 in May of 2010 by a 23-year-old sex worker named Shannon Gilbert. Police say Gilbert was driven to a client's house in Oak Beach when something frightened her. She ran off, went to 2 other houses asking for help, but ended up running from them as well.
We had absolutely no idea what happened to her. Basically vanished into thin air.
Stu Cameron is chief of police in the village of Old Westbury, but in 2010 he was a Suffolk County police inspector. He oversaw several units, including K-9, which was brought in to help find Gilbert.
There was one human remains detection dog, and that handler was a police officer called John Malia. And I would say in general the Suffolk County Police Department K-9 team is one of the best in the country, but Pierre recognized John Malia was the best of the best. He wanted to find Shannon Gilbert. His motivation was primarily to give closure to the family so that they could know what happened to their daughter.
The Oak Beach Association is a small oceanfront neighborhood near Gilgo Beach in the town of Babylon. It was here where police and that K-9 team were doing their search. But it wasn't until December of 2010, 7 months after Shannon Gilbert made that 911 call, when a body was found. And it wasn't found here, but 5 miles west of here, off Ocean Parkway.
The obvious assumption was that he had found Shannon Gilbert.
But it was not Gilbert. 2 days later came an even more disturbing development. The remains of 3 more people were found, all in the same area.
Basically a very shocking day to find multiple sets of human remains in Suffolk County. It was completely atypical and unusual and concerning.
So along with a still unsolved missing persons case, police were now looking for a serial killer.
When I look back to those early days, it's amazing how little we knew. Nobody really knew anything about who these women were.
Grant Parpan covers the courts for Newsday. He says one of the many notable things about this case is the collection of hairs found near several of the victims. Prosecutors say the hairs linking suspect Rex Hewerman to 6 of the victims survived being in the wild, in some cases for years.
An important thing to think about is technology had to catch up for this case too, because the technology that was implemented in this case to make the DNA matches did not exist in 2010. So in some ways, time has been the friend of prosecutors in this case.
Thank God we got the breaks that we did.
Suffolk District Attorney Ray Tierney agrees. He says finding those strands of hair were extremely fortunate.
The women were wrapped in this camouflage burlap, which is vegetative, and so it rots away. The hair that was found in Maureen Brainerd Barnes, it was sort of caught in the buckle of the belt that was used to constrict her body. That's sort of lucky, that's sort of happenstance. And then with the other ones, there was one that was in the tape.
Another irony of this case is that it took the death of a young woman who had nothing to do with the case to reveal that a serial killer was on the loose. Instead of running off in a panic into thick marshland in Oak Beach where she died, if Shannon Gilbert had simply left with her driver that night, there would have been no need to search for her, a search that led to the discovery of the remains of nearly a dozen people.
When you think about Shannon, these bodies probably would not have been found. Shannon Gilbert paved the way for the Gilgo 4 and the other 6 to be found.
Stu Cameron says that's a thought that often goes through his mind. As tragic as Shannon's death was, he says it likely prevented the deaths of other young women, as did the hard work of the K-9 team.
Not only did John Malia start this vast investigation that hopefully will eventually result in the conviction of the person responsible for these killings, he also probably rocked the person back on their heels and stopped them from killing other people. And God knows how many other young women would have gotten killed if he had not made this discovery.
In Oak Beach for Newsday TV, I'm Doug Geed.
Read more about the Gilgo investigation on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Time to highlight the jobs you do. In today's LI Works, Ken Bufa shows us how to wrap holiday gifts.
This time of year, certain traditions are inevitable. Holiday decorations, holiday shopping, and the inevitable sound of wrapping presents.
And I did it wrong.
And who better to share what it's like to be a pro gift wrapper than...
Hi, I'm Michael Russo, owner of Made by Michael Russo here in Cold Spring Harbor, New York. I've been wrapping gifts for about 20 plus years. And I think the reason why I love my job so much is because I get to exchange personal stories with clients.
Grab your presents, we're wrapping gifts. For decades, Russo has been wrapping thousands of presents for others.
When you're giving a gift, it could be the most perfect gift, but if it's not presented properly and like exciting, it's like, what's the point of giving the gift?
Now, wrapping gifts sounds simple enough, but remember, each present is unique.
You know, shapes are different, so sometimes it could be a little challenging. These are ribbon scissors.
Yeah, mine's choppy.
That's okay. Oh, almost made it.
Perfect.
So you're gonna put a piece of double-faced tape on the very edge, pull and push here, and then you're just gonna carry that right over.
You talk to people while you're doing this too, you said, right?
I do,
How's your day? Don't talk to me, I'm wrapping your gift. We gotta do the ribbon.
We're gonna do the crisscross on the bottom.
This is so exhausting.
Your bow is going that way, but your trees are going the opposite way.
Oh my God!
So that's just a small detail that I would follow.
That's gonna bother me now. Why'd you tell me this?
So as you embrace the inevitable, remember, presents without presentation are a missile no. So like Tiny Tim famously said, gift wrap us, everyone.
They're bringing you a gift to give to someone that they really like or enjoy, and it's a special occasion. So you're the last stop before giving that, so you should really amp it up.
Ken Bufa, Newsday TV.
Some impressive wrapping. You can see more LI Work segments on Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. See more on these stories on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. We've got more local news coming up.
Even though Long Island has high levels of speeding and reckless driving incidents, police in Nassau and Suffolk counties issue less tickets at a lower rate than most of New York State. Dangerous roads. Enough tickets? Now available at Newsday.com/dangerousroads.